Hey everyone, it's K-Cat. Uh, Today we're doing one of those walk and talk with me's. I just went to that's the that's the gas station that I went to for the coffee. I got here early, so yeah. So happy Sunday. Walk with me. This weekend, actually, this week was pretty hectic, um, which is fine. Uh, I gotta give you a story time. Um, so Friday was like any other day. Sorry about the hair. I'm really sweating. So anyway, back to what I was talking about. Um, so uh, Friday was one of our busiest days, and this is where the story time comes in. So I worked with my boss on Friday. We did all of the things. We were here until 4. We worked until 4. We made roughly, between the both of us, we made like $900. That's a lot of people. We were cruising. And so it was fine. It was great. We set up everybody, set up second shift, um, with bread and stuff like that, so that by the time 4 o'clock came around, everything, we thought everything was good. So, mind you, we made $800, $900 before we left. My boss and I go home. We change clothes. We're chilling because if you follow me and follow my channel, my sister is also my boss, but we don't talk about that um, because I don't play favorites. Okay, who am I kidding? I do. I love her to death. So, we're thinking, oh, yeah, it's going to be a Friday. It's fine. We're good. We're going to have people, but it's not going to be that bad. Come to find out, now, mind you, we live in a small town. And if you follow my page, you know that we live in a small town in Pennsylvania. So this is Amish country. I don't know if it was Amish night out on Friday or whatnot, but I, yeah, we got a progress report saying that we made over like $1,500 before taxes. I think it was like 14.95, $1,400. That's a lot of people. That's like five, you know, a bunch of online orders and stuff coming in. So I was like, oh, cool. So I was told that we didn't have, by the time I would come in yesterday, that we didn't have any bread. I would need to make bread and do some miscellaneous stuff. Okay, cool. I get to work early. Like today, it's already 7:30. I think it's 7:30. Yeah, 7:34. Um, it's all good. Don't worry about the vacuum sound behind me. The um, the bank across the parking lot is, they're doing vacuuming, I guess. Anyway, it was funny because yesterday rolls around and I'm like, okay, I'll do, some damage control. I get here early. I got to work at like 6:45. I was like, I'll come in, clock in at 8. I normally clock in at 8:30, get stuff done. So I get into the store, get my coffee at my favorite gas station. Got my coffee. Coffee is coffee. I don't squander on that. Um, and then I moseyed over here. You know, I opened the door. The floor is, mind you, when I first get into the store, usually the store is pretty clean when I get in. Um, the floor was not done. It was like all sticky, a mess. Um, I locked myself in or locked the door behind me, realized that the door itself was gross. Like everybody and the grandma decided that they were going to put handprints right on the door. So I was like, okay, duly noted. Sweep and mop. Okay. Do the door. Okay. My mental checklist was on point. I get into the back. They had uh nobody did dishes on Friday. Like everybody forgot how to do their job. Um so yeah, I saw there was this big mound of dishes that I had to do, and I was like, I don't know if I should do that. So for me, I went to the bread cabinet, realized that we had no bread whatsoever. I was like, okay, let me wipe down. You would think that the bread, prepping the bread would have bugged me more, but it was actually the door to the store that bugged me. I was like, okay, before I do bread, in case anybody should show up and look at the door, um, I'm going to wipe it down. Mind you, it's like 15 minutes, uh, 7:45 in the morning. I make my, I plop all of my stuff down. I get a rag, I get the Windex. I come to the door. I look out the door window as I'm wiping down the window of the door, which is over here. Uh, I wipe down the door, right? As I'm wiping down the door, I see uh, out in the parking lot, I see this truck. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. Um, didn't think anything of it. I realized that at this point, I realized that most of the handprints are outside of the store. And I was like, you know what? I'll just wipe the windows outside. So I unlocked the door from the inside, closed the door. My back is facing towards everybody. In the parking lot. So I'm just minding my own business. Out of nowhere, I hear a voice behind me, and I turn around, and it's this couple. This is where it gets funny because I love this story. I like this part of the story because um, I turned around and I was like, uh, it's this husband and wife. The husband is more outgoing than the wife is. The husband sheepishly looks at me and he's like, "Hey, we just wanted to know when Sharp Shopper, which is the store way down there, that store is open." He's like, "When do they open?" And I was like, "If I remember right, they open at 8 o'clock in the morning." And I looked over at the wife, and she has this pissed off look. You know, she she's not having a good morning. Uh, she looked like a grump. So I looked back over at the husband, and he's fidgeting, and he's like, "Well, what time is it, anyways?" And I was like, you know, it's 7:45. You have like 15 minutes." And he's like, "Oh, okay. All right, well, thank you for your time," and all of that stuff. And I go back, I tell him to have a good day, and I go back to what I was doing. And before I turn around, the couple went back to their truck, and the wife swats. Yeah, the wife smacks her husband, and all you hear is as she smacks her husband on the shoulder, she's like, "I knew it was 8 o'clock. You didn't have to bug her. I knew, I knew they were open at 8 o'clock. You didn't have to bug her. She's busy. She has a job." And I was like, "Okay." I didn't say anything. I was like, I'm done here. So I opened the door back up, go inside, lock the door just in case they have any ideas. And I started giggling. Uh so that was cute. Um the rest of the day was fine. Um as for the whole load of dishes that I had to do, I ended up having we ended up having the general manager come in real quick before we actually opened at 9 o'clock. And by this time, I had already gotten the bread, had already started on the bread and the cookies. I already did the things that I normally do on the weekends anyway, but only like an hour early, a half hour earlier than I usually do. And so the general manager, who is kind of like a parrot to the owner, like you have the owner of our restaurant, and then you have the general manager. What I'm trying to teach, or trying to make aware of the younger kids that are working with us, is that whatever you do or not do, it gets recorded or it gets told to the store manager. Whether it's good, bad, silly, or ugly. Our general manager, she is like a hawk. I love her to death. She's really awesome. She has helped me grow into the Subway artiste that I have been, the past 4 years. But she doesn't matter what it is. She will let the store manager know. There have been a couple of times where he will call my ass up after, she came into the store being like, "Well, why did you do this? Why did you do that?" And I get yelled at. It's bad enough that my sister slash manager gets yelled at on a day. Every Monday she gets yelled at about somebody um over the weekend. So the past couple of days, especially yesterday and today, I'm trying to make it so that nobody has any say about what I did, unless it's something good, because I don't want to get yelled at. So yeah, she came in yesterday. The general manager came in yesterday as I was opening up the store, and she's looking around, um and she's like, "Oh," she she comes in and she's like, "Oh, they didn't do much yesterday." And I was like, you know they were busy. And then she came back into the kitchen and saw the mound of dishes that were piled up, and she's like, "Oh, this is atrocious. You have your hands full." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know." She's like, "Are you doing bread?" And I was like, "Yep, I just got the first batch in." And she's like, "Oh, okay." She's like, "Just let you know, um the owner might come in." She was telling me about the owner coming in. uh tell you the truth, he didn't, thank God he didn't show up, because I think that I was a little bit more stressed than anybody else. You know, she gave me a heads up that the owner of the store might show up, and she didn't want me to get in trouble because I was already having to deal with second shifts problem anyway. I think that's what she had told the store owner because he didn't really show up when I got here. Unless he showed up after I left. But you know, I don't know. So she leaves. Apparently, she told my sister. My sister gave a group chat to everybody saying, "Hey, can somebody come? Can another person come in ASAP and help us out?" That way, she's like, "I really don't want Kat. I really don't want Kit Kat getting yelled at for something that she didn't do, because second shift couldn't get their stuff done." Um, Mind you, everybody took this weekend off. Everybody took this weekend off because it's, it's before, you know, 4th of July, you know, tomorrow is the 1st. It's, before 4th of July, everybody took off. Um, and whatnot. So she put it in group chat. Within like 10-15 minutes, she comes rolling in to the store, and she comes walking in, and I was like, "Well, I thought somebody else was coming in." And she's like, "I forgot everybody and the grandma took the weekend off." I was like, "Oh, okay." So she ended up, mind you, my boss did the sweeping and mopping and like about 80% of the dishes. She didn't have to, but she did. And I was totally grateful. I told her last night, if it wasn't for you doing that, I don't think I would have had the epic day that I did, because I was able, after she left, it took her about 45 minutes to do all of that. It didn't take long, but I was able, if it wasn't for her doing that, I was able to just focus on slicing meat, doing the bread, doing what I normally do on the weekend, and not having to work on second shift stuff. Because yeah, if you don't do your shift, I tell people all the time, if you don't do your shift, the other shift has to, you know, if first shift has to do your job, they're not going to like you. So, yeah. But yeah, she told me last night, she's like, I legit, put it down that you were doing a really awesome job. So, um, yeah, after she left, everything was nice. We kept the store clean throughout the day. I was able to get stuff done the way that I wanted to. We prepped second shift yesterday. I think before I left, we had just hit 500, um, which isn't that bad. I mean, we were steady yesterday, so hopefully they did a really good job. Um, by the time I got home yesterday, I just wanted to prop up my feet, take a nap, and call it a day. I was so hot. I was so tired. Yeah, it was one of those days. I was like, yeah, this is, I'm tired. So, yeah, um, today I came in early, mainly because I wanted to vlog early. So I knew today was going to be somewhat of a decent day, so I wasn't too worried. But yeah, I'll go into work. I'll go inside in a few minutes, open everything up, see what all they didn't do yesterday, and, you know, just do that first. But yeah, I wanted to, yeah, the whole purpose of this vlog was just to walk and talk with me and have coffee. and listen to me vent. So, thank you for doing your job. Now it's my time to do my job. I'm going to get off of here. You guys have a good Sunday, and I will see you in the next video. Love you guys.